Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to ELA today. Today we are going to continue to read our narrative nonfiction text about the Titanic and add our key details and determine the main idea. So let's do a quick recap of our skill and our vocabulary this week. Remember, we are determining main idea using key details and text evidence while also discussing our vocabulary of the week. Go ahead and repeat after me. Voyage, massive, inflate, achievement, plunge, boulders, and debris. Those are our vocabulary words of the week. We have been reading about them throughout our story, and our story is a narrative nonfiction. Reminder, boys and girls, that a narrative nonfiction tells a story, but also includes facts and details about a topic. In this story, it's about the Titanic, the amazing ship that sunk. It includes photographs, captions, headings, maybe a specific topic, or it is to inform us. It wants to tell us something while also entertaining us and allow us to enjoy the story. If you're anything like Mrs. Davis, I love reading and learning about the Titanic. It's a very interesting topic to me. Also, what you have been doing with your tree map yesterday and today is going to be identifying the main idea with details. Now remember, boys and girls, the main idea is what is the story mainly about? And the details help us determine the main idea. Details such as examples, facts, let's say describing something, comparisons, definitions. Those little details are little details in the story that help us come up with the main idea, which is what the story is mainly about. We could read the title, look at the pictures, look for keywords that it kept repeating itself. Maybe look at the first sentence, the last sentence to define what is the story mainly about. And we do this all using text evidence, reading the text and going back and finding the answers. Now, yesterday, Mrs. Davis read Beyond Reach for you, and you read human-sized worms. And right under here in our tree map were all the various different key details that we have came up with. Mrs. Davis did the Beyond Reach for you, and I labeled 3 key details that helped me determine the main idea. Then you guys went into human-sized worms, and here are a couple key details that I read of the work that you guys sent to me. 2 researchers went 7 miles down into the ocean. The submersible wasn't crushed by water pressure, but over here a person would be crushed by the water pressure. The men did not see much because it was pitch black. The achievement inspired many people, including the oceanographer Robert Ballard. So then I went back and I went ahead, and after pulling those details, boys and girls, I came up with the main idea for my section, and then what many of you said was the main idea for your section. In the Beyond Reach section, it wasn't possible to search for the Titanic right after it sank because of the water pressure. Therefore, it was beyond reachable. In your section, a new invention to help people explore deeper in the ocean. This was the submersible, right? So the human-sized worm was this submersible. And today, I'm going to read us Deep Underwater and select a few more key details to help me determine the main idea, and then you are going to do the very last section in the story yourself, just like you did yesterday, and you will complete and turn in your whole entire beautiful tree map to Mrs. Davis on Class Dojo. So let's go ahead and get started. We read the Titanic together yesterday. Mrs. Davis read Beyond Reach. You read Human-Sized Worm. And I'm going to read Deep Underwater today. So, first thing I want to do is look at this picture with the caption, Super Submersible. During his second search for the Titanic, Ballard used a new kind of remote-controlled submersible. He called it Argo. It was loaded with cameras and powerful lights. So I'm going to go ahead and title my tree map Deep Underwater. And as I read, boys and girls, it's very important that you follow along and in your mind try to think of what key details you think I should add. Now, I know that all my key details have to do with something being deep underwater. So you're going to watch how I find my key details before you move on to doing the next section. Follow along with me. Ballard wanted to try again, but he was embarrassed by his failure. It was hard to get more money for another trip. He tried not to get too upset. Instead, he focused on another dream he had. For years, Ballard had wanted to create a better way for humans to explore the deep sea. Submersibles let scientists like Ballard go deep underwater, but the trips were dangerous, and the submersibles could stay down for only a few hours at a time. Ballard had a new idea. He wanted to build a remote-controlled submersible. This one wouldn't need a human to go inside. Also, it would be covered with cameras. It would take pictures and record videos that scientists could watch from the ship above. Ballard and a team got to work on the submersible. It was called Argo. Meanwhile, Ballard hadn't forgotten about the Titanic. In 1984, he decided to try again to find the shipwreck. On August 24th, 1985, Ballard and his team were back in the North Atlantic. This time, they had Argo. They sent Argo down to the bottom of the ocean. Its cameras and video cameras clicked and buzzed. In a ship above, Ballard and his team watched as images came into the screen. Argo worked perfectly. In the coming days, Argo took pictures and videos of many things. There were boulders, there were huge holes in the sea bottoms, there were plants that could grow without light, but there was no sign of the Titanic. Okay, so anyways, to go deep underwater, Argo was remote controlled. It says right over here, he wanted to build a remote controlled submersible. That is awesome because so humans wouldn't have to go under. So I am going to write Argo was a remote controlled submersible. Okay, another important detail I saw was that it was covered with cameras. So a human didn't need to be inside because it was covered with cameras. That's another important fact. It was covered with cameras. And then I would like to say that it could take pictures and videos. Of the deep sea. So just one more time. Argo was a remote-controlled submersible. A human did not need to be inside because it was covered with cameras. It could take pictures and videos of the deep sea. And within those 3 details, boys and girls, about deep underwater that I got from my passage, I have came up with Robert Ballard built a submersible called Argo to explore the ocean. Notice, boys and girls, that this is the main idea. This is what that whole entire little passage was about. That he built a submersible that was able to go underwater to help explore the ocean. So what you are going to do, boys and girls, is go back to your story and you are going to read Ship of Dreams. Within your Ship of Dreams, you are going to continue to add to your tree map, finding key details to help determine what the Ship of Dreams main idea was. Again, remember, any detail, boys and girls, that you put in your tree map must have to do with being a ship of dreams. And then you will come and then just add it to your tree map. And I cannot wait to get a beautiful picture. So right here would be Ship of Dreams. And then you will add to your tree map. And then when you are finished, you are going to take a picture of your completed tree map from yesterday and today and send to Mrs. Davis. And I cannot wait to see it. Some of you have it on a paper. Some of you wrote it on a Word document. So just to recap, before you watch this video, you should have completed the vocabulary practice. Then you watch Mrs. Davis' mini lesson. You're going to complete and finish your tree map, identifying key details in main idea. Send it to me on Class Dojo. And then you're going to complete the main idea discussion post, and at the very end, go ahead and watch that Titanic video read aloud. Tomorrow we will have a quiz or questionnaire, I want to call it, on your Titanic reading about main idea. You guys are doing so great. I really want you to enjoy reading about the Titanic. It was a very, very sad time when it happened, but they have found a lot of cool discoveries about it. So enjoy it. I cannot wait to see your tree maps and see how well you identify the main idea. Have a wonderful day.